See this charge? That's your Tesla refueling for the month. Some owners pay $35. Others unknowingly burn over $120 for the same driving, same car, same charger. The difference isn't the Tesla. It's three hidden variables quietly multiplying your electricity cost. If you prefer clear Tesla answers over forum debates, consider subscribing. The typical cost to fully charge a Tesla. Start with the basic rule. The cost of charging a Tesla mostly depends on two things: battery size and the electricity price where you live. A Tesla stores energy in kilowatt hours, and every unit of electricity has a cost attached to it. Most Tesla batteries today fall roughly between about 57 kilowatt hours and 100 kilowatt hours, depending on the model. That means filling the battery from low to full requires a different amount of electricity for each vehicle. A smaller Model 3 battery will naturally cost less to fill than a larger Model X pack. Electricity prices then determine the final number. In many areas of the United States, residential electricity ranges between about 12 and 20 cents per kilowatt hour. When those numbers are multiplied by the battery size, the charging cost begins to appear. Energy research shows that a full Tesla charge at home usually costs somewhere between about $12 and $43, depending on the vehicle and electricity rate. That range explains why charging costs can feel surprisingly different from one owner to another. What most owners actually pay per month. Now look at the number most drivers care about, the monthly charging bill. Instead of thinking about a single full charge, it helps to think about how much electricity the car uses over an entire month of driving. Most drivers travel somewhere around 800 to 1,200 miles per month. Tesla vehicles typically consume around 250 to 300 watt-hours of energy for every mile driven. When those numbers are combined, many owners end up using roughly 250 kilowatt-hours of electricity each month for driving. Once that energy usage is multiplied by a typical residential electricity rate, the monthly charging cost starts to appear. For many Tesla owners charging primarily at home, the bill often lands somewhere between about $30 and $60 per month, depending on driving distance and local energy prices. Several electric vehicle charging studies estimate similar numbers for typical home charging costs. Driving habits still matter. Long commutes, highway speeds, cold weather, and features like Sentry Mode can increase energy use, which is why monthly charging costs vary from driver to driver. The four factors that control charging cost. Start with the first rule. Understand that charging cost is controlled by a few simple variables, not the car alone. Most owners focus only on the Tesla model, but the real drivers are energy use and electricity pricing. Battery size is the first factor. A larger battery pack simply requires more kilowatt hours to fill, so a Model S or Model X will naturally cost more to charge than a smaller Model 3. Electricity rate is the second. Utility companies charge different prices per kilowatt hour depending on the region. Some homes pay relatively low residential rates, while others see much higher prices. The third factor is time of use pricing. In many areas, electricity becomes cheaper late at night, which means charging overnight can noticeably reduce cost. Finally, charging efficiency plays a small role. A little energy is lost, as heat during AC charging, so the electricity drawn from the wall is slightly higher than the energy stored in the battery. Together, these four factors explain why charging costs vary from one Tesla owner to another. Home charging options. Most owners Start by choosing the right home charger. Most Tesla owners rely on one of two simple setups, the mobile connector or the wall connector. The mobile connector is Tesla's portable charging cable. It plugs into a regular household outlet, or a 240-volt outlet if you have one available. With a standard outlet, charging is slow, adding only a few miles of range per hour. With a 240-volt outlet, the speed improves enough for many daily driving needs. The wall connector is Tesla's dedicated home charger. It installs permanently in the garage and connects to a higher power circuit. Because of that, it can deliver much faster charging and makes overnight charging effortless. Some homes also use the universal wall connector, which works with Tesla vehicles and other electric cars using different plug types. In practice, the choice usually comes down to convenience and charging speed. For many owners, installing a proper wall charger quietly turns home charging into the simplest part of owning the car. If this kind of Tesla breakdown is helpful, consider subscribing. The installation cost. Start by planning the installation properly. Most Tesla wall chargers require a dedicated 240-volt circuit, and that usually means bringing in a qualified electrician. The actual work is simple in many homes, but the price depends on the electrical setup you already have. If your electrical panel has enough capacity and the charger is installed close to the panel, installation can be relatively straightforward. In those situations, many homeowners pay a few $100s for the wiring, breaker, and labor. Costs rise when the job becomes more complex. A long wire run across the garage, a full electrical panel, or the need for a panel upgrade can push the price higher. Permits and inspections in some cities also add to the total. That's why installation quotes can vary widely from house to house. Two neighbors with the same Tesla may pay very different amounts simply because their home electrical systems are different. Once installed, though, the charger usually becomes a one-time investment that makes daily charging effortless. How owners quietly cut charging costs. Start by scheduling your charging overnight. Many electricity providers use time-of-use pricing, which means power is cheaper when demand is low. By setting your Tesla to charge during those off-peak hours, the same amount of energy can cost noticeably less. Next, check whether your utility offers a special electric vehicle electricity plan. Some companies provide discounted rates specifically for electric vehicle charging. A quick look at your utility website or a short phone call can reveal programs that many owners never realize exist. Another long-term strategy is solar power. Home solar panels allow you to generate electricity during the day and use it to offset the energy your Tesla consumes. Over time, that can reduce the effective cost of charging even further. None of these changes require complicated technology. A simple charging schedule, the right electricity plan, and if it makes sense for your home, solar generation can steadily bring the cost down. Many experienced Tesla owners quietly combine all three. Once those habits are in place, charging the car often becomes one of the smallest energy expenses in the household. Tesla charging versus gasoline cost. Start by comparing the two energy sources directly. A gasoline car depends on fuel that is purchased by the gallon, and those prices change constantly. When drivers fill the tank, the cost often feels significant because the payment happens all at once at the pump. Electric charging works differently. Instead of buying fuel in large bursts, a Tesla gradually draws electricity from your home supply. The energy comes from the same grid that powers lights and appliances, which spreads the cost across the household electricity bill. For many drivers, that difference becomes clear over time. A typical gasoline vehicle might require well over $100 each month in fuel, depending on driving distance and local fuel prices. In contrast, many Tesla owners find that home charging often lands far below that level. Electric motors are also extremely efficient. More of the energy from electricity actually moves the car forward, while gasoline engines lose a large portion of their energy as heat. Over months and years, that efficiency advantage quietly reduces the total cost of driving. Final thoughts. Understanding the real cost of charging. In the end, the cost to charge a Tesla at home usually comes down to three simple things: how much you drive, the electricity rate where you live, and how efficiently you charge. Once you understand those pieces, the numbers stop feeling mysterious and start making practical sense. For many owners, that's when the bigger picture finally becomes clear. Charging at home is not only convenient, it quietly changes the economics of everyday driving. Instead of making regular stops at a gas station and watching the pump total climb, the car simply draws energy from your home overnight. By morning, it's ready again without any extra effort. Over time, that routine becomes one of the most appreciated parts of owning an electric vehicle. The car refuels while you sleep, the cost blends into your normal electricity bill, and driving becomes a far more predictable expense than gasoline ever was. For more clear and practical Tesla ownership insights, consider subscribing